welcome back to my podcast, Funny Girl Abroad. I am Aliki, meaning that this is my name and how you can call me if you want to. I live in, took me a second to remember that, Sweden, that is correct. By the time you watch this, I have no idea, though, if I'm still going to be here. Life moves fast and I try to move faster. It's important when you live in any country, really, your home country or a different country. It's important to have a space, an indoor space, where you can sleep and have all of your stuff. It's one of the main purposes in life, really. It should be easy to achieve, but it's not. It's hard and it's becoming harder and harder. When you move abroad, it's very hard, if not impossible, to just take your house along with you. Things are not built that way, you see. Maybe if you live in some type of, what's the word for it? You know, the house with the wheels underneath. So if you have this thing, you can drive it wherever you want. If you are a dog, it's also very possible for you to have your house moved along with you by your respective human assistants. If you're a turtle, you have your house with you at all times. It would be so nice if I could be a human turtle and have this as well. There are some humans that have achieved it. It's the people that go hiking. They're also green, maybe not on their skin, but definitely on their clothes, and they carry their camping equipment. And every time I see them, I always think of turtles. So if you are not a turtle or a camper or a dog or a 5-year-old that likes to put up seats and sleep inside them in their room, if you're none of those things, and if you don't have a wheel house, you need somewhere to sleep, and you're going to need a house where you're going, and good luck. Good luck. Thoughts and prayers and sorrows. In Stockholm, there's not enough houses to go around, and you would think, well, if there's not enough houses, why don't we make more houses? For a lot of cities, and Stockholm is definitely one of those cities, it's just that there are a lot of regulations around how houses should be made, how high they can be, where they can be, how to deal with nature that is around, and there's all those regulations that make it really, really hard to create new houses. And that is the reason why you may live in Stockholm and all of your friends may live in Uppsala. But you work together and you go out together for beers and it doesn't really matter. And apparently Sweden saw this problem and had an amazing idea and just basically said, okay, with that exact voice. Everybody who doesn't have a house but want one, get in a queue. This love of queues is very present in some countries and not in others. In Greece, a queue is not a solution to anything at all. There's not a single thing that you can solve with a queue. But in Sweden, not only you believe you can solve problems that way, but it even becomes the only thing. Just a row, one behind the other. Everybody get in a queue, we'll figure it out. Okay, and what now? Well, we'll figure it out. We will let you know. So even though it's absolutely impossible to find a house and it is going to continue to be that way, for some reason it's a little bit reassuring because you think to yourself, well, I'm on the queue, right? Sure, I'm gonna wait, it's gonna take a while, but hey, I'm in the queue. I may be sleeping inside a cardboard, but I'm in the queue. So, cardboard no more. When I was about to move to Stockholm, I got in the queue first thing, registered myself, got in the queue to get a contract to rent a house. That's where you go to rent a house. I get in the queue. And okay, I wasn't expecting it to work the first day, but maybe the second, maybe the third, maybe like a week later. And then a week later, people still kept beating me to it. So I was like, wow, that's a really long queue. I've never in my life been in a queue for like more than a week for anything. That's crazy. That's so crazy. That's so Swedish. I mean, I'm basically already living there. And then after 2 weeks, I realized that something was a little bit fishy. I want to see all the people that are beating me to it, that get those rents instead of me, those rentals. And what's up with them? How long have they been in the queue? Is it 3 weeks? Is it 4? Is it like a month? A whole month? Long story short, it's the 2000s. It's the people that got in the queue in the 2000s. I'm talking 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008. They've just made it to the front of the queue. Right now, this is their time. This is their moment in the sun. Does the queue really solve anything? Well, it makes you feel good because you're in the queue, right? So as long as you're in the queue, you can sleep at night knowing that one day this queue is gonna be over. And sure, maybe you'll be in retirement, maybe you'll be dead, but then your kids can have your place. And this is beautiful. This is what a queue is all about. But I proved myself worthy, even without the queue, and just looked every single place I could possibly find, and I did actually find a place that I could live like a student rental from a different university. I still don't know how they let me in. I think they misunderstood, but hey, you know what they say, never correct your enemies when they're making a mistake. I live in a house with flatmates. And I don't know how you are with flatmates. I don't know what you're feeling around cohabitation, but I'm gonna guess that it strongly depends on where you're from. I think there is 2 cases of cohabitation in Greece, okay? One is like a perpetual sleepover. You and your best friend, oh, we're gonna live together, yes, let's get an apartment and cook together and have parties and oh my god, it's gonna be amazing and all of our friends are gonna go there every day and and that is the best thing in the world, of course. Most parties I've been to, most fun just time I've had was in places with people that were living with their friends. Because then they become like this center of community. It becomes like a sitcom, okay? But in real life, which is so much crazier. Because everybody is alone in their own houses, in their own sad little apartments with no money, and then you leave and you go to your 2-3 friends who decided to live together, and it's like we're going to the Smurf village. It's like someone's always cooking, there's always music playing, people are chatting out loud, there's movement, they're planning a party or they're cleaning from a party, and you just keep going. You go there the next day, you go the day after. After all, you end up spending more time there than in your own place. It's crazy. Those places end up with more people and they're just attracting even more people like a magnetic pole. But it's not so common to have the more traditional flatmate situation, which is people barely know each other, come together to save rent, they have strict rules and they follow those rules, and they just kind of get along or not get along. Maybe they're friends, maybe they're not friends at all. But just, everybody follows the rules and everybody's fine. This is not a common thing at all. You know how they say, as long as people greet each other with a smile and the bathroom door locks, how bad can this turn out to be? Well, I've been thinking about this really, and I talked about it with multiple forces, different people. Forces? Did I just say forces? No, there are no forces, just sources. I checked it with my sources, like a journalist. So I spoke to different people who also have had flatmates, and turns out there is this character that is pretty much existing in every cohabitation space, in every house with flatmates. There is going to be this one person that is just, let me just call them the kitchen Karen. What is this person? Well, this person is definitely better than you in a lot of ways, and all those ways that this person is better than you has to do with the kitchen. This person can cook better than you, can clean better than you, can just be a kitchen, a kitchen participant better than you. And that is totally fine. It's totally understandable. Everybody is better in a different room of the house. The thing is that this person wants you to not be there at all, if it's possible. They don't They really wish that the kitchen was just their own, and they see you as an annoyance. As long as you use the kitchen, they will never be happy. I had a person like this when I was living with flatmates. I'm gonna call her Sarah. That's a fake name, obviously. So Sarah lived with me in the house, and she was in the kitchen, and she was always running some big project, a big kitchen project. She was always cooking either a cake or a pig. I'm talking long projects. I'm talking, I don't even know, marinating stuff, planting stuff. I don't know, the last time I planted anything that is edible was probably when I was in school and we did experiments. But this person is doing stuff that takes time. They're making their own bread, they're making their own oven, their own milk, their own cow. They're the master of the DIY. So Sarah was like this. And Sarah wanted to have the kitchen to herself, and she should. And I really hope that she has a kitchen by now, that she has on her own and she's completely happy. Because Sarah knew that nobody else was as capable as her in the kitchen. She was always upset and condescending and had a bit of mistrust. For example, she had a blender that she assembled and disassembled every time she had to use it. Every single time she would just open the blender, take off the top, take off the bottom, put it together, use it, then take it apart, take the carton box that it came in, put everything inside and store it. Because Sarah knew that we're not to be trusted with a blender. We're gonna do unspeakable things to it. Her blender was in danger and she knew it. We're gonna mix together vinegar with blood and then not clean it. In the beginning of this whole thing, I had myself a little bit the insecurity of, well, you know, I don't have the experience, I don't have so much this type of culture of living with others, of having flatmates. So I should be extra careful, extra everything. But there will come a day inevitably when you're going to have a coffee late for school or work, and you're just gonna drink the coffee and leave the coffee cup and run and say, well, I'm just gonna wash it at night when I'm back. Right? Well, wrong. Because Sarah is gonna come to the kitchen before you and she's gonna see the coffee cup. That's not gonna go down well. Because everybody who's ever lived with flatmates knows that coffee cup plus time equals note. Someone's gonna grab a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen and they're gonna write stuff. They're gonna write stuff like, hello neighbors, in English, very important so that I know it's for me. Hello neighbors, well, it's very important to wash your cup instantly after you've had your coffee because there's a lot of us here, which is one of my favorite phrases in the world. Because it's so interesting. It intrigues me. There's a lot of us here. It makes sense, right? It makes you think, oh, respect, have to be respectful. There's a lot of us here. But there's also a bit of a threat. Do you wanna fight? There's a lot of us here. That's exactly what the note that the Romanovs received the day before the revolution said. It said, there's a lot of us here. And they didn't think much of it, and we all saw how this ended out. And what do? Well, you follow. You wash cup immediately. If you're gonna have to be late, well, you're gonna have to be late, or just don't drink coffee, right? That's how this works. That should be enough, but it's not really enough. Because different people have a different standard of, like, when things are clean. Something that for me is a wash, for somebody else is just a soak. So the next time that you go to the kitchen, you have Sarah coming up to you and saying, well, I've smelled your plates. I'm gonna be lying if I pretend that I remember whatever is said afterwards. Because you see, the thing with me is that when you tell me I smelled your plates, anything you say after that, I'm not gonna register it. It's not gonna stick. There is nothing you can say that will surpass this first part. Like, I smelled your plates and I've never felt more in peace. I smelled your plates and it's been spring ever since. I've smelled your plates. You're not to be trusted. I'm sorry, I can't. I just can't. I tried, but all I can think of is just the image of Sarah standing in the kitchen and smelling my plates. How do you get over that to get to the second part of the sentence? It's not possible. That's all I can ever think of anymore. I never managed to make another thought in my entire life since that moment. Every time that I am sad or a little bit down, I think of Sarah and how she might have kept a plate to remember me by. Now, you cannot leave your coffee cup for later, to wash it later. If you're in a rush, you also can't wash it in the rush because Sarah's gonna smell it, so that's not a good idea. So what is the last resort of the flatmate is that, well, no, just gonna take it to my room, drink my coffee, just leave it there, and as long as it's in my room, no one's gonna complain about it. And when I'm back, I'll just take it back to the kitchen, wash it, and then a couple of times, then leave it there, right? Wrong again. Because Sarah has a sixth sense when it comes to appliances. When a coffee cup is in your room, she feels it in her bones. And when you see her, she looks at you and she knows. You can tell she knows by the way that she looks at you. It's obvious. I can't explain it, I can't describe it, but it's crystal clear, and everybody who's been in this experience knows it, knows this look of, I know. There were 6 yesterday, there are 5 today. There were 25 yesterday, there are 24 today. Tomorrow they're gonna be 23. I don't know, but if they are, maybe I'm gonna have to write a note. And then you get this anxiety that is just so specific. It's the exact same anxiety that you have when you have a book from the library that's been delayed, and now you can't go and return it because it's already been delayed. So you'll have to face the disappointed face of the librarian. You just have to wait until the librarian retires, and then you take it to the next one. It's the only thing you can do. That's why I really like it when they have a monetary, when you pay some money for every day you've been late with the book, because you're like, okay, well, I'm an idiot. How much does it cost? Please tell me. How much does it cost that I'm a chaotic, disastrous, messy person? Please tell me what it costs and I'm gonna pay it. And then we're all gonna forget about it. Here, you be happy. You made some extra money today. Nobody wanted to read this anyways. I wish we had a system in the kitchen. I could just well, I've been ready with this coffee cup, kept it for a week. I know, what does it cost? Here, where's the money jar? But we don't have this, you don't have this. All you have is the guilt, you just feel bad. And the coffee cup knows it. And every time you see it in your room, you just get this feeling, this thing on your chest. It's horrible. So you just have the coffee cup there, life goes on. But then you need water. You can't use the same coffee cup because this has been used for coffee. You need a different coffee cup for the water. Now you have 2 coffee cups. 1 coffee cup and 1 water cup. And you have them in your room, and she knows it. And then you just fall and fall. It becomes this wormhole that just sucks you whole. And days pass, and the cups come and go, and you end up with all of the kitchen in your room. And you're like, when did that happen? How did that happen? I never wanted to be in this position. And the only thing that you can do is that you just wait until nobody is hopefully at home, and then you just assemble all the pieces together, plate over plate over plate, cup over cup over cup, grab it in a hug, and just run to the kitchen, just run and hope that nobody comes out of the room as you're in the process. And then clean everything so nobody notices anything. There's been whole days of my life that I was just sitting in this little room crying because I couldn't leave the room. Because if I left the room, I had to face my choices. I'd have to face the cups and plates that exist in my room. I'm gonna see Sarah, she's gonna look at me. She's gonna look at me like she knows, and I'm gonna know that she knows that I know that she knows. I just sit down and cry and wait until I'm dead so they can come and find me, and also the plates and the cups. And people say it's so fun to be a student. Where do you see the fun in all of this? Well, the thing is, all of this sounds kind of horrifying, but there is a purpose. There is a purpose, I believe, because if you don't have this experience, if you don't have Sarah or any kitchen Karen that maybe, whichever is your kitchen Karen, if you don't have this experience, how will you ever be motivated to get out of the flatmate experience? How are you ever going to be motivated to be an adult and have your own home and your own unwashed cups and plates? It's never going to happen. If everything is pretty and smooth, you'll never be motivated to move to the next phase in your life. You'll just stick in this flatmate apartment forever. And you'll have your little kids also being there, rinsing and cleaning their baby bottles multiple times because, somebody has to push you, somebody has to kick you out of your comfort zone, somebody has to stand up and say, hey, that's my kitchen. I know you pay for it, but it's mine. So that you can say, well, you're crazy and I'm out. And you'll never say those things. The most you'll say is, I'll make a tea, fine. But this is what exists underneath. And those experiences are important and are formative. And that's what it's like to have flatmates. So let me know if you have this experience in your life, if you've had the kitchen Karen, if you are a kitchen Karen. I mean, I'm absolutely in awe of this type of person. I am not. I hope I wasn't too mean or anything. And if I seem mean, it's only because I'm here and for no other reason. So thank you so much for watching this full of memories episode. Let me know if there's anything that you want me to talk about, any experience that you've had from studying abroad that maybe I will see and will generate something out of me as well. And hey, see you around. See you later. Bye.